How y'all coaches doing out there? It's Coach McFadden, and today we're going to talk about Y cross. Now, this is a very big staple in the air raid. Like, and I know I've said that a couple. Actually, they kind of all are. But this one, okay. So you've been hitting Y stick, Y stick, Y stick. They start to creep up on you, right? Boom, call Y cross. And actually, Y cross is always open. Okay, it's just about always open. It's about your quarterback size getting where they need to be. So let's go with the first variation, 2x2, ace formation. Um, so as you can see, this is a standard 2x2. You're probably going to get a two safety high look, maybe one safety high, maybe they roll a guy down, but probably you're probably going to have two safeties, and the guy's going to try to stack you on this side because what do you defensive guys like to tell your guy? You just take one of your safeties and stick them to where who? The running back side. Fine. So right away, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. And a lot of you air raid guys already know this, but let's have some fun. Our first look is our peak, right? It's our go. It's our out mandatory outside release. Boom, and he's gone. Look, why is this always the number one read? Because if I have this guy that's beating their guy and getting down the field and getting wide open, why stress myself anymore? And what we're doing is we're hoping that we can hold the safety and our guy beats their guy, catch him in a man look or catch him in a two look, right? Where he's covering the flat. This safety's got to make a decision, right? Because he's got to cover deep thirds. He's supposed to jump here, but and he doesn't because he gets his eyes, he's an untrained safety, his eyes get locked down here. And we have this. But if he doesn't, then boom, we come off the first and we hit the second. There it is. So let's say if that safety's playing that deep third look and he jumps this route, then this should be wide open. That's why we got to get behind the backers. You got to tell your why to get behind those backers. That is the thing. Okay. And what we want to do is we don't want to run ourselves in coverage. Okay. So we don't want to run ourselves into a corner safety. So if they're in zone, we sit. Find a place to sit where the backers are not. Hey, it could be right here. Let's say that backer shoots in something crazy. They bump over and he can sit and he's wide open, then dump it, right? Tell your receivers, don't get too greedy if they don't have to. Now you're a man, you run that thing out, right? Run that guy off. Actually, you should see the green grass open right in front of you. The grass should open. Grass, not man. We're reading the grass where they should be. Tell your quarterback get it there. So here's your third read. I like to do little curl route, little hitch route, a little H stick, but sometimes we flip it up and we go with a different route combination. You can do that, right? As long as nothing's impeding this progress right here. And we're trying to hold this, this is a 3-3-5 look. So this is a little backer safety. And we're trying to hold that backer here too, right? Now, if this is not open and this is because they decided just to drop the 8, right? Some guys just say we just drop 8 on air raid guys. Okay, we'll just hit them short and we'll run and get yards, right? And then your fourth will be your deep comeback here. You can change it to a dig as long as it doesn't run into the route. You can change it to a go. You can change it to what fits your personnel. And I'm always going to tell you guys that whatever fits your personnel. And then your fifth is always your running back swing. Now you can change that up if you feel like this should be 4 and this should be 5. Who am I? Right? Or if your quarterback can go 1, 2, 3, and you just want to cut out this and this and make this because he's a young quarterback and you just want to cut the field for him and give him clear, concise. If you find green grass here, you find green grass here, or not, you can find green grass here. Right? You got to kind of play with that. That's just kind of the standard reading, and that's why I always tell you guys you can have it in different ways, but make the quarterbacks read to grass the same. First, second, to make sure that the main progression stays the same because that's where the main concept of the play lies. Okay. So now we're going to jump into another 2x2 set. This one is not long-winded explanation. This is if you want to add a play action to it. And then what we'll do is if we get good at it, right? And this is if you don't want to overcomplicate, you can stay simple or you can start to trickle in little tags and things in there. Or you can have it just base part of your play is we add in a little H shallow over underneath, right? And then we still read it, our go, peak, make sure we get that outside release, make getting down the field. We look for that green grass first. Then we always go back to our second read, which is the Y cross. The Y cross. I have seen a coach go Y cross first. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. And then the 3 would be the shallow. 4, we'd come back to our deep curl here. And then 5 would be the dump off. Now you could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you feel confident, right? But this is adding a little play action. You can orbit motion, right? Like you can add a little orbit motion if you feel like you want to. You can add a little, comeback motion there. Kind of just get the eyes looking for the quarterback. I like to do that kind of stuff. So the quarterback's eyes, so his mind is stopped going so crazy. But you got to understand, even though you're no huddle and you're up tempo, you still want the quarterback to be able to process information. So sometimes as a play caller, settle yourself down, give a little orbit motion, give a little jet motion, give a little motion there where your quarterback's eyes can lock in on the defense and they can read either man or zone, especially if you have a young quarterback. A young quarterback, trust me, run a lot more motion than not. Some guys probably won't agree with me, and that's fine. But in my opinion, I run a lot more motion than not. And sometimes what I like to do is we'll just put them in the empty, right? And we'll just run that jet motion across, right? So we're running the jet motion across. Let me delete that. And this really doesn't, because I can hand the jet off. Boom, we can hand the jet, or we can wait, snap it when he gets about here and still read up, or we can snap when we get about here, right? And we can still read our progressions. And if you're an empty guy that likes to run a lot of jet sweep, or even just like to run a lot of jet sweep, that's cool. You can even switch to H to do it, and then have your F just end up in the same area. So let me undo that. Work. Yeah, I know, guys. I'm probably driving you crazy. So what you can do is you can have the H because he's off the ball, right? So we can delete this, have him run the jet. You can hand it off if you want or not, and then he can end up in the flat more in the shoot route, or you can swing him, tell him to swing. That even becomes a play in itself where you can run the bubble screen out of this, right? Run him off and then run the bubble, right? That's getting a little complex. It matters what you can handle. And then this guy, as long as he ends up in doing a route, right? So let's not get that too complicated. How much practice time matters, and just have him come out, and then he just runs that, or he can like stop, just do a little stop route. Those are little combinations you can do, much as your guys can handle. As it says, high school coaches, I'll say this every time, we only have so much time. If we have more time, cool. This is where you want to go to 7-on-7s and a lot of the practice on air stuff. If you guys can get it down, usually if we don't get it down within about 20 to 30 reps of me knowing they can just do it in their sleep, not the basic area stuff. We're gonna do that all the time. Then I might have to move on and put it in my back pocket and see if we can throw it in later or try to sprinkle it in. Right, but kids are smart; they do start to figure it out. But here's a 3, what we call late. Now there's many ways you can run this. I just added this variation. I know there's a standard variation and stuff because this is the H cross, which I'm saying we're getting behind those linebackers again, got our peak route. This can turn in, let's say the safety jumps in or the corner's riding and he wants to push it in, and that quarterback and him have a great relation. Cool. And that's like, again, goes back to your practice time. The H is doing the cross now. And now this could be a different set of route combinations, but I like to cross them. Why will? Yeah, right. H cross, Y will. And because we're going to go here, if we see the grass hit it, not if 2, right? We see the grass hit it, but if they overcompensate and hit all around here, then this should be open. This or this will be open. Very rarely can the defense be stretched that far. Now, I understand what you're saying. How do I know how much time he's going to have? You don't. And on the backside, we always have the little curl here. You can change it to something you want. Maybe drag something across it. And then that's what I kind of gets my mind working. Forgive me, guys. I kind of work. Sometimes I'm talking to you. So right here, this can be a blitz beater. But what you want to do is make sure that we shorten that up. And he's got to clear. So if he clears, then you can run this across. That's too much going on. If you trust me, I understand that. Or if you're getting blitzed heavy, Or you feel like he can't make the reads, have that's a step back. He can just hit that real quick, get it out of his hands. So it's different things you can do. This, like I said, we play action it again. Hopefully that displaces some of the backers. Now we might want to you go this way, right, just to try to triangle them, or you can, play action this way, right? Because really, you're probably going to have enough time for the 1, 2, or 3 on this shot. This is a shot play, right? Or if you're just like my line's too young and my quarterback's need more time, you just 6-man protect it, and that's fine too. Sometimes you can't have all these routes running over the field. Sometimes if you're just trying to get a big shot play in or get a big play, you're going to need more protection, right? So it's good to call max protect on this and have your guys come in, right? I've even had a point where, we've protected it more, right? Like we brought the guy who wasn't running the wheel in and protected it. So different things you can do, right? Different things, different strokes for different folks on this one, right? Like we'll motion this guy, and that gets into more complex because then this guy's got to run X cross with the Y. That's different stuff. So we're not even getting that, but it is what it is. And then here we go again. Another 2x2. See, in this formation, a lot of 2x2, and you can even do out of two back set, of course. Well, actually, sorry, this is empty. 2x2 with an empty. We always go empty to the wide side in air raid. So just empty to the wide. So just pretend this is the wide side. Same rules apply. We've got our peak shot. Where quarterback's gonna look here, see if he sees the green grass, see if we can hit that area. Then he's gonna go back to his 2, right? His wide cross, getting behind those backers. I probably should drew it deeper. Getting behind those backers. If it's in zone, sitting. Then we got the 3 here, right? Now what we did is just F, right? So what we did is we F shallow cross that, F cross that. Blitz beater, and then you got your 4. And what we did with the H was I like to get the bubble pre-read, pre-read bubble. If they start to play off us, especially if they see empty, and it's another air raid thing, they start to shell us and they start to drop, 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 drop. Then we're just gonna quarterback's gonna give a signal to his H, and he's just gonna boop, pop it over, and we're gonna get some yards. We're gonna make you come up. We're gonna make you play us. We're not going to keep letting you drop 8 back. And that's what your mind's got to be. Tell our quarterback, take the small stuff. That's why we build in a lot of this. That's why even on this one, I like to play. I also like to put the step back, because if they want to drop back, right, and they're like, oh, they just throw every time. Okay, we'll just pop that over and let him get some free yards, and there we go. So that one right there, it's an empty formation. You can do whatever you want with this, right? You can do whatever you want as long as this stays consistent because this plays off of each other. So, with all that being said, Y cross, H cross, did a couple of different variations. What I do doesn't mean what you have to do. It's just giving you ideas, coaches. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe. I always try to throw some stuff up there, some ideas. If you guys have any ideas you may want me to elaborate on, cool. I try to get to you in the time I can. We are in the off season, but I do get ramped up a little bit. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you guys. And now I'm trying to start recording.